This podcast is brought to you by you, the anime addicts out there. And if you want to help out the podcast, support the fight against cystic fibrosis, you can go to our website at aaapodcast.com/join or Patreon, and you will be able to support the podcast, and 50% of everything that you contribute during the first 3 months of the year are going to go to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So together, let's fight against a terrible disease. We'll do a good thing, and we'll all be anime addicts together. Again, that's 50% of all incremental support we get during the first quarter at aaapodcast.com/join our Patreon. Help us out, and we'll help out as well. And now, time to start the show.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at aaaapodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome to episode 561 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Man, what a rockin' song to start that off. I guess I have to introduce the band. On the keyboard, the worldly wizard, Mitsugi. How's it going?
I got my Canada Dry Ginger Ale sticky keys, but I'm here and I'm loving it. Here to make your anime addiction worse with all my friends and all my anime buddies. Good to be here.
And on the guitar, shredding that solo, once again, it's Caroline.
Absolutely. I like to shred. As you can, I definitely seem like the person that can shred.
Do you have any musical experience?
Yes, I'd say I'm a pretty decent singer. I actually have played guitar
Okay, so it
acoustically,
counts.
but I was crap at it, so...
You'll be,
I mean, it's sitting in the corner, pretty unused.
You'll be a singer in the next intro then. And I am your host on the electric bongos, Mason. Pleased to welcome you. And together, as Mitt said, we are here to make your anime addiction so much worse. We'd love if you join us over on Twitch, where we stream live every Sunday at 5 p.m. EST. We have a Facebook, we have a Discord, we have so much happening stuff going on. Most important thing right now, though, at this very moment, is the Anime Oscars voting, which is still open for 2020. Voting is on links that you can find on all those social media things that we said on our show notes, which you can get access to. And wherever you listen to it, we'd love if we could get your help so we can figure out which anime reigns supreme.
And can I just make a note that the anime of the year is still up for grabs, for sure.
Still close?
I'm checking it right now. You know, I want people to be motivated to vote. And I'm going to tell you right now that the anime of the year is within 2%. So it is up for grabs. So your favorite anime may not be out of the running. So get in there and, vote. Make me happy. So want to have lots of votes.
Heck yeah. I got to get that statistical accuracy going on. Another thing up for grabs is the special role in our Discord server. We'll give you more details at the end, but if you've ever supported us for any amount of time, we'd love to reward you with some special roles and square. So if you're into that, please check it out. And another last little quick thing before we get to the end of this housekeeping. This isn't an official statement, but a lot of people have been reaching out asking where Mandy is the past couple of weeks, and just wanted to say, health side of things, she's still doing fine. There's just a lot of personal matters, a lot of stress, a lot of just stuff going on in the world right now. So she's taking some well-earned rest after years of being on almost every damn episode and spending the hours to prep and record and edit. It's just a lot going on right now. So she's doing fine. Give her some Goku Spirit Ball energy, good mojo vibes, and we much as you do. So we can't wait for get you some more info, but that's kind of the unofficial update.
My hands are in the air. I'm sending energy.
Send us your power.
Sending the energy to Mandy's Genki Dama right now, and she will throw it at Frieza in 14 episodes.
Exactly. But in this episode today, right now, what we're about to get into is our main topic is the bring your own topic, where we all have put our heads together and come up with no conclusive things. So we each brought our own thing to the table, and we'll see how that goes. We've got some wacky games and some weird ideas, and we'll see what comes of it. And we have, for our review part, quote unquote, is our second round of winter impressions. We're going to be giving our takes on Jobless Reincarnation, supposed kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies moved to the starter town, Heaven's Design Team, The Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime, Season 2, and Hortensia Saga.
Is that three isekais?
Is Hortensia?
No.
Or is that just fantasy?
It's not, but I know that I think Jobless Reincarnation and Slime are.
Yeah, those two are.
Good lord.
So,
That's all there is.
Very thematic. We did our group of cells at work last week. Now it's our isekai group. So staying on brand.
Fair enough.
And with that, anything else before we get into the big news of the week?
I don't think so. I'm ready to roll. Let's hit it.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Very complicated article, but I thought it might be worth talking about. A lawmaker in Japan whose name is Taro Yamada, who is a member of the House of Counselors, has been opining, I guess is the word, about some of the copyright laws in Japan and how they will or will not potentially apply to cosplay in Japan. So cosplayers in Japan are able to make a living in a variety of ways. They sometimes get paid to make appearances at conventions. They get paid to take photographs. They get paid to sell photo books of themselves. Sometimes they'll sell props of themselves. They'll even sell like whole costumes that they've made, stuff like that. There's like a whole litany of ways that they have made money, including like subscription memberships and whatnot, Patreon. And Japan, while their government has like, as Yamada stated, I think the quote was, one of the most like free and giving legal systems in terms of copyright violation in the whole world. They are revising laws because it sounds like some of the copyright holders of some of this intellectual property are getting a little feather ruffly about the free reign that I guess people have had to just make money off of the IP that is owned by other people. To which case I say, like, I think people should just leave them alone, but I also see like the legal reasonings for it. And so I think like people are concerned that it's going to do damage to the cosplay community in Japan. A lot like how they had the whole Hufflepuffle with the Mari car thing, where there was that go-kart company that was making money off of Mario, basically. And so there's like this huge article on Anime News Network that comes from the Abema Times, which I assume is from a newspaper in Japan, that's talking about all this. And I think where the article settled, without going through the whole thing, because it's pretty long, was that members of the cabinet in Japan said that they want to create an environment where people can participate in cosplay with peace in mind, and they're endeavoring to, they don't want to restrict fan activities, but they're trying to make an environment where, quote, everyone can accept what's happening. And so, I don't know. I was kind of curious what you guys think, what your thoughts might be on it. What you think that might means, etc.
I'm just still like reeling from the fact that you just said Hufflepuffle of a situation. That's really hitting me hard.
Shitstorm.
That's a little more on brand.
Yeah.
It's definitely a difficult and like complex issue that is definitely more than just I feel like there's a lot of moving parts at play, and it'll be interesting to see what comes of all this.
Yeah, sorry. I wish I had more to say about it, but yeah, basically what Mason said.
I guess I just feel like if you have to kind of look at different situations that might arise. If you were a person making it, let's say you were the manga artist of like Demon Slayer, and something as simple as like the scroll that Nezuko puts in her mouth. If there was some person making reproductions of that prop and selling them for money, that sounds illegal to me. I mean, at a minimum, you should have to pay a royalty on something like that. I mean, you're basically making money off of someone else's, property, but like it's so complicated because I don't know if dressing up in a costume and having photos taken is enough to be like a copyright violation.
I feel like that's so much less of a violation than like the whole culture of like doujins, like taking these characters and making like fan comics out of them or just doing fan art. Like I feel like just having that art be a part of you physically and you be integrated into a real world representation of fan art doesn't seem any worse. And I guess the difference is because they are making a profit from the likeness of the fact, but like isn't that what whole like Comiket like revolves around, which I know also it has been like up to debate and a dicey issue. So
I don't know. There's been a lot of like legal talk. So like the article in the chat now is talking about, rather than talking about copyright, we're talking about like whether or not Nezuko's thing is really a scroll. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's a thing that she puts in her mouth. I so like they say like, oh, if you were to create masks in Kamen Rider as they appear in the series and sell them, there's a precedent for that being illegal, which is kind of what I just said. But if you were to use a pattern on the clothes of like Tanjiro and like something that you make for yourself, that has like a different type of utility that makes it not copyrightable. So, but if you were to take things like a belt and a sword, make them look exactly like the author's work, that could be a copyright violation. But then the article also says that the law is so complicated that most people don't even know how to have an opinion on it because it's so complex at this point that they don't even know how to like have a public opinion, I guess.
oh, I have an opinion. I just know it's not well informed. So there's
Well,
a
like,
difference.
I mean, they wouldn't want to make an opinion because they don't want to,
Yeah.
get caught with their, pants down or whatever. But I don't know. I just think it's worth people being aware of, that cosplay is coming under fire in Japan right now, because, and I think that maybe the simple solution is rather than like banning cosplay, because that sounds like ridiculous. Maybe if someone's making like $200,000 a year off of like, basically the works of Demon Slayer by making costumes and stuff from it, maybe they just pay a royalty, like a 5% royalty to the author or something. I don't know. That to me, that's a better middle ground than just outlawing cosplay, because that's
Sure, but then
no
you
one
have
likes
a cosplayer who, and I can't speak for any cosplayer, but I have to imagine like the big ticket cosplayers over there, they're not just, oh, I do Nezuko 300 days a year and that's where my income comes from. They probably do One Piece some days and Dragon Ball
Right.
some days, or this idol thing. So like, are they going to say, well, I bet 70% of my income came from this one popular thing, so do I have to give 70% of that 5% real?
Yeah,
It's messy and
Very.
it'll be definitely worth keeping an eye on, but I don't know.
it's very messy. But we'll see how that develops. I imagine the laws in Japan probably are even slower moving than our own. So we'll maybe revisit that later. But for now, I've said my piece.
Yeah, I wish I had more to say. Honestly, I'm just not very knowledgeable on copyright things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if we're moving on, it was a pretty slow news week. Nothing really specifically that I really thought would be a good thing to talk about. I mean, I think this is a good thing to talk about, but there really isn't a lot of details on it out yet. There is a Higurashi murder mystery board game in the works. So it could be fun unless they take a very Clue game setup and, slap the Higurashi name on it. I think it would be a pretty interesting game to play for all of us who love Higurashi.
I'm trying to see if there's like images of the board or anything out there.
No,
yet.
there's nothing. There's like it was just announced that it was going to be made. We don't even know if it's going to be very basic. Like there's a dozen, like more than a dozen Clue versions out there for different, properties. My sister has a Golden Girls Clue game in our room.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So it could very well be Clue, Higurashi, or maybe be something a little bit more, special. I hope so, because that would be fun.
Are you guys the type to get suckered into like buying derivative board games? Like, for example, the last time I got tempted there was a Mario Brothers like Monopoly game that was brand new, and I was like, oh, it looks so cute. Like, Are you guys the type to get like sucked into any of that kind of stuff, or not?
Not really.
Not really, but I think Higurashi would work really well in like the game Sorry, if you've ever played that. That would work better for
It's like, what?
just wiping out people, just killing all their progress.
It's like, whoops, I tore your fingernails off. Sorry.
Exactly.
Oh my
You
God.
slide back like, 7 paces, whatever. Or I think 7 is split. Don't listen to me. We're not getting technical, but like, I don't know. It could be fun. But I agree that I would rather have it be like a unique, organic, like not, Pokemon Monopoly, but its own independent thing. But then at the same time, you see like Attack on Titan, like the card game, and you're like, who's buying that? Like, what?
Yeah.
How much of Attack on Titan's like world and aesthetics and like what is good about it is going to be pushed through a card game?
Yeah, honestly, if they like put in 5 minutes of effort into this Higurashi murder mystery board game, it could be really good because there's so much murder that happens in that
Oh my
show
God, yes.
that they can pull a lot of creative influence from that show and put it into a really good game. But, more often than not, they just take the easy way. So we'll see.
Merchandising.
It's kind of the lazy way out to just copy another franchise with a different like skin. But Mason, were you ever tempted by the Dark Souls game? I know you're a big Dark Souls fan. They did make one. It was expensive, but they made it.
Oh no, I'm over here saying like, oh, I wouldn't be tempted by like a name brand like version of like a well-established game. But then again, I also the Monopoly game that my family does own is like the NHL one. So like it just so happens that we got the game that is a derivative, but we don't have like, I don't know, we didn't buy it because moving on.
Moving on. All right.
I had nothing for news. It was slow, and I think the most spicy stuff is we'll talk about later in this episode.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the newest hotness, I guess, so to speak. Welcome back to the Anime Addicts Confessional. The Church of Mitsugi is freshly dusted and ready for your souls. So Seki Soy has written a submission which is definitely worth reading. I thought I would share it as he has confessed his sins before Almighty God himself. My first anime convention, I think, was KatsuCon 3 back in 1997. It was the last year it was being held in Virginia Beach. My buddy and I somehow convinced our art teacher to take our high school art club there as a school-sanctioned trip, writing up a proposal on how it's a Japanese art convention and would be an excellent cultural experience for us. As soon as we got off the bus, our teacher knew she had been tricked. And while it wasn't my wildest convention, those would be in college, and those are great memory. And God, I feel old now. I'm just gonna take a drink for this man. I have a small thing of alcohol left over from my hellish work week. Cheers to you. You are a model of all men who have tricked people to doing things for the sake of anime. Yes, Caroline, please speaketh thine statements to the church.
Yes, Pope-sama. So I think it was your teacher's own fault for taking a student's suggestion and not doing any research on it. And to be surprised to arrive at a place that you did not put in a single ounce of effort into researching and finding out it was a con. You should have...
To be fair,
Good for you.
To be fair, an art teacher, like, that's like right up next to like gym teacher where you're like lawless. Like there's no rules if you're an art teacher. You can be the wild card if you want.
My dad's a gym teacher.
Yeah, and he can probably get away with whatever he wants.
I mean, he could get away with not working out.
Silence, for another has entered the booth. Matty Gamer has entered. Thank you for your confession. Forgive me, Pope, for I have sinned. When I was 26, I printed out the opening song lyrics to Lucky Star so I could learn them and sing them while I drove to work. I didn't do it for a girl or anything. I did it just for fun. I also eat Pocky regularly, not because I'm a weeb, but sometimes because it makes me feel a little bit moe on the inside. The green tea and strawberry ones are my favorite. Oishi! P.S. There may or may not be a body pillow hidden deep away in the darkest depths of my closet. These sins are indeed egregious. And I'm afraid to say that your lucky soul-filled soul, your lucky star-filled soul can only be cleansed by the purifying flames of hell. We'll see how lucky you feel when all your moe pocky melts under the heat of your own regret for all eternity, sinner. And now be gone with thee! Amen!
That was a lot.
Thank you for your confessions, sinners. And if you want to write more confessions, you can do it at aapodcast.com/mailbag, where you can submit your sins. Just make them good, because I'm not reading the ones that aren't particularly spicy. So, you could just make them up too. I don't even know if they're real. You could just be a total crazy person. But if you write to,
Speaking of making things up, we are looking for Shark Tank submissions.
That segue.
Are they ill-tempered?
Tempered?
What do we have? Sea bass. Are they ill-tempered? Oh, absolutely. Oh, but that's a start. It's from...
I think the second guy is made up, because no one can learn the opening song of Lucky Star and just the lyrics. I also imagine that you learned the iconic dance to it. So please submit that for proof.
While seated in your car.
Exactly.
Yes. Fireball is not my favorite type of alcohol, but some guy came over to my house on Friday, and he was like, another 16-hour day. Here we go. Here. I brought you some alcohol. And I was like, okay, I didn't drink it. I saved it for the podcast. But
Wait, so you have Fireball?
Fireball. That's what this is. Yeah.
So I love Fireball. It's like my favorite, especially after a long day of work. That is so good. It makes me
The light-colored liquors are my favorite, like the gins and the vodkas of the world, but Fireball is pretty easy to drink because it's so sweet. So I will probably finish this here in the next 5 minutes, and then, what the fuck.
On the other hand, I do love a good Irish cream. Just so people know.
I don't think I've ever seen a Fireball with, like, liquid in it that people drink out of. Like, I've only ever seen Fireball, like, abandoned on, like, a street or something, emptied after someone just, like, chucks it out of their car. Like, I've never actually seen someone drink Fireball out of those, like, small containers.
It definitely tastes exactly like the Fireball candy. That's got to be where the name comes from, but anyway. Yes, and tequila in the chat. People are calling out tequila. Tequila's probably the best. So, all right. Yeah, I mean, with some salt and some lime, why not? If it's decent.
I have a story of my first tequila shot, but we don't have time for that.
Ooh,
that's some bonus content. We'll
All right, moving on. Thank you for your submissions.
Our main topic is each individual's topic that we have brought, and who knows what will come of it. This was kind of last minute, but I think we'll have fun either way. Do we want to begin, Mitz, with yours or with Caroline's?
Why don't we go with Caroline?
I agree.
Well, thank you very much. So, I was trying to think of something fun, and I came up with this game. I came up with the name first, and I came up with a game later.
Just like the Higurashi board game. Great idea. Okay, now what?
Yeah, basically. Okay, so it is called Animath. It is a game where we take mathematical equations and apply it to figuring out what we're talking about, like of anime. So you can take different names of anime, different anime tropes. You might even be able to dip your fingers into a little more of, other shows that you've seen that might not necessarily be anime, but using all of those elements and combine it with addition, subtraction, you can make sure you can make a game out of figuring out what are you talking about. So, let's see. Let's pull up an example that I sent you guys because you had no idea what I was talking about.
She was like anime and math, and I was like, "What that?"
Yeah, so I'm sure that other people would say the same thing. Like, what the heck are you talking about? You're bad at explaining things. I know. So something very simple, for example, would be Naruto plus screaming, and you can figure out the answer.
Black Clover.
Yeah, exactly. One Punch Man plus hair. My Hero Academia. Very simple.
Oh, I don't know if I would have gotten that one.
I don't know. It was like one punch, and then the main character actually has hair. I mean, it's not a perfect system, but you know, it wasn't my bet. That one wasn't my
I'm
bet.
fast and loose with math hair.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought it would be a pretty fun thing to try out. So we each have about 4 things, 4 equations each. Now, Mason went above and beyond and did some calculus stuff that I don't that I don't know what he was thinking. So
calculus,
it's just exponents. It's just exponents. There's no integration.
I have no idea what this is. So
calculus, really, Mason?
No, it's really dumb. But thank you for that drop.
I just want you guys to know that I was really bad at this, and I don't feel like Mike and mine are very good, so I apologize in advance, but I did my best.
But I came up with a really good pro tip. So if you go to someplace like, you know, My Anime List or something, you go to a specific show, and then you look through the recommendations. You'll find a lot of similar kind of shows, but with a couple notable differences. And then you can take that as inspiration to figure out your equation.
So, I mean, that helps if you're actually trying to make these good, but I'm just going based on charm and obtuseness here, so we'll see.
That's the Mason way.
Exactly. No one gets it, no one understands, no one likes it, but they just have to accept it.
All right, so who wants to start?
Oh, me. I want to go first.
Okay.
This is a softball because it's recent. Free plus skateboards equals...
Skate the infinity.
Skate with the weird infinity thing in it because that's math. The 8.
I actually wrote skate the infinity and a bunch of text to throw you off the scent, because on the document there's like all this blacked out text, and I wanted to make it look really long to confuse you guys. But
what did you write in there?
I wrote skate the infinity and a bunch of text is to throw you off the scent. Literally, that's what I wrote.
Literally what you wrote.
But it didn't. Here, I'll take the color. It didn't work. It didn't work though, because you're too good. So. Oh boy!
Well,
okay.
Like you said, that was a softball.
It was a softball. That was an easy one.
Well, I'm looking ahead in the doc, and I promise that I probably won't get most of these, but it's more fun. But anyway, Caroline, you go next because I'm putting the blame on someone else.
Okay, so I have Game of Thrones plus Isekai. It's easier than you think.
Is it?
It's harder than you think. Because I'm trying to think of.
Definitely knows it.
I've seen like most of the popular isekai shows, to be honest.
I'm telling you, you know it. You're gonna kick yourself if you don't figure it out.
Lots of dragons, blonde girls with dark eyebrows, a really bad ending.
Oh, so much shade being thrown.
I love Game of Thrones so much. That's the only reason why I'm mad about it. Wow, what is an isekai Game of Thrones? I don't know. The how to not summon a demon lord? I don't know. I don't know. Mason, help.
I looked it up because I gave up quickly, but someone in the chat got it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Platano Senpai 24. 12 Kingdoms.
No, you don't think so?
There's like
it's
different
political
factions.
enough.
I see where you're coming from.
Like, it's not a perfect, a comparison, but, there is a lot of people wanting to get on the throne. There's fighting.
Listen,
there's fantasy elements.
I'll say one thing. Someone else got it right, so it couldn't have been that far off the trail. So
that's going to be the determiner. If someone in the chat gets it,
then it was actually decent.
It was good enough.
And once again, 12 Kingdoms is so fucking good. Like, just go watch it. Like, for real. All right, I guess Mason's up with his calculus.
Unless you like an ending.
Oh,
Got him. That's like Game of Thrones.
Yes. That's another.
she's still that lady is still writing these damn books. All right.
Yeah, just like my buddy George.
He's never finishing. He's so rich, he doesn't care. Yeah.
My next one is sets times reps times weight minus a tracksuit.
How heavy are the dumbbells you lift? Honestly, I have no idea. Unless I feel like they. Really? I got it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was like
Lifting
thinking
weight, and then Machio just busts out of it.
I was thinking way too hard about that. I was like sets times reps times weight, the total weight that you lift in a whole workout. What is I don't know.
Yeah, something with like volume or something.
Yeah, I was thinking like is there an anime where the title has like a really high number in the name?
I don't know. I just figured they must have worn tracksuits at some point, so I wasn't sure.
Wow. Okay. All right. Touche. Okay, here's a good one. Sports anime minus sports plus slapping things.
Is it Keijo?
It's Keijo.
It's not Keijo. It's
This
not
is like the
Keijo.
Mitsugi like back pocket answer to anything. Like when we did the like explain a game poorly, or explain like the plot poorly, it was like slapping cheeks.
All right, so people in the chat thought it was Keijo too, but I'll say it again. Sports anime minus sports
Louis
plus
the Cat's a Chihaya Furu, which
plus
is very accurate.
slapping things.
Unless you really like.
It could be Chihaya Furu.
Yeah.
It is 100. It is 100% Chihaya Furu.
I was thinking Keijo. We were
What?
still committed.
I contest Chihaya Furu is not a sports anime.
I thought you were serious. You lied.
No, I was just taking a shot at Chihaya Furu.
No, I got it.
No,
it.
That was
Feel
good.
it deep in my loins.
That was really
but
good because it worked for both.
It's not because Chihaya Furu is not a good show. It's just that I don't think that it's a sports anime. But we've had this conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
The chat is
moving on.
angry at you, Mitsuki.
Excellent,
Karuta is not a sport. Go fish is not a sport either. Anyway, moving on.
All right. So my next one, Mushishi minus any Iyashi K feelings.
Oh, I know it.
Mason?
Go for it, Mitz.
It's got to be Moyashimon.
It is not Moyashi.
Oh, son of a bitch! It definitely could be.
Is it Mononoke?
It is Mononoke.
Oh, come now. But what about all the bacterias and stuff? Oh, well, I could see it either way.
That was just a guess. I got lucky.
Azure Falcon says, shame. I'm being shamed. Oh, I don't have the shame drop anymore because we took out all of the fail drops off the soundboard. So
I feel like that one's still necessary. We need to shame each other for some things.
Yeah.
But
all right.
usually we just do that in person.
I'm not going to
like,
shame myself,
recreate it,
though.
like, shame. Ding, ding, ding.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah,
bing,
you
bing.
got it.
All
My
right.
next one is a bit of a stretch, as for all of my future ones. You take Mob from Psycho 100, you subtract psychic powers, and you add death metal. What show do you get?
What show has death metal?
Detroit Metal City?
Except maybe a Gretzko, but I don't think that's it.
It's Detroit Metal City.
Oh!
I honestly have never heard of that show before.
It's amazing, and if you ever watch it, the main character Krauser-san is, when he's not like on his like stage persona, reminds me a lot of like Mob. Just a real docile, nice, beautiful child who's a god amongst men.
I've decided something just now. I need to alphabetize the soundboard or get a real soundboard because I can
Maybe
never
have
find
a Excel
anything.
sheet?
People have like those Ableton pushes, those like sound mixing devices that like have color coded rubber buttons, but like fuck, those things cost like $1,000. I'm not gonna buy one of those.
You should just get each of them like logged into like Siri, so you can just be like, Siri, play the shame drop, and like it'll know what that is and then play it. So you have to like announce that you're about to do the drop and then it plays that would be terrible.
All right, I'm gonna go to my next one, Again, I apologize. These are not very good.
They're fun though. I'm having fun.
Mine are not good. Golden Boy plus Otaku no Video plus Athletics. This is kind of hard.
So we got.
I'm out for the count for this one. I have no idea.
By the way, I got that Golden Boy cell, the expensive one I just bought. I finally got it framed, and I got a good deal at Michael's. If anybody's trying to frame cells, got a good deal at Michael's.
There you go.
They only charged me $100 to frame it. I think that's pretty cheap for a frame. So and matting too. Golden Boy.
Look at the chat for this. I'm needing some help.
Golden Boy plus. What does Golden Boy have in it?
Toilets.
It does have toilets, but
bicycle races against motorcycles.
It has bicycles in it.
Has dude taking notes. Taking notes.
He does. It does.
Dude is trying his best.
You guys give up?
I gave up from the get-go.
All right, so here's the logic. Golden Boy has a lot of bicycles in it. He rides bicycles everywhere. Plus Otaku no Video, which is like nerdy stuff, plus Athletics equals Yoamushi Pedal.
Wasn't gonna get it.
Sorry, I tried.
I you know what? I actually was being like joking with the whole like bicycle things, but now I'm kind of seeing it. I'm seeing the threads.
Yeah, the chat doesn't really like my. Yeah, they're agreeing. I didn't do a very good job. So
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Also hasn't helped that I've never seen Golden Boy, so.
Oh no.
Oh yes, my queen.
If you watch Golden Boy, you must watch the dub. I'm very passionate about this. The Golden Boy dub is fucking hilarious. That is, honestly, it's like one of my top 5 favorite anime ever. You must watch it, and it's fucking. If you can handle like filthy humor, then if you like South Park, you'll probably like Golden Boy. Anyway, moving on. All right,
my turn. Okay, so I have Agretzko minus aggression minus full-time benefits.
Oh, I've never seen Agretzko, so I'm in trouble.
What show has
just
like
take,
a fulfilling like office life?
Yeah.
Isn't there a something part-timer show? My
Devil's
life
a part-timer?
The devil is a part-timer. That's my guess. Thank you.
That
is decent, but like that's actually not correct. Sorry.
That's a really good show, actually.
It is, but it also doesn't have an ending, so.
I can't think of any like workplace show. Like Wodakoi, that was kind of workplacey.
There's all sorts of workplace shows.
But where there's stuff not full of like depression over where they work.
Well, yeah. I mean,
chat, help us out. I don't. No, nobody.
Honestly, this might not be a good one for me because nobody's gotten it yet.
I'm gonna say Berserk, 2016.
I haven't seen this show.
It is. Should I just say what it is?
Yeah.
I surrender.
It is Skullface bookseller Honda-san.
Okay. That's okay. That's a good one.
I haven't seen that. So
it's a good one.
I am innocent.
It's so funny.
All right, I'll put it on the list.
And it's a short, so you know.
Oh, that makes it
I think
easy.
it's like 15 minutes, or is it 8?
Whoa, that's
no,
super
it's longer than that. But yeah, I remember I posted like a GIF of Honda-san on Twitter. And somebody was like, "You guys got to talk about this show," and I'm like, "Sorry, but you're not gonna like talk about a show that is more than like not recent. You know, it's a couple of years old. But you know, it is still a really good show."
See, that's why you trick Mitz into watching it, and then he talks about it in the "What Have We Been Watching" segment.
It's true.
That's how you get it on there. But I think Mitz will like it just because going to Japanese bookstores is a blast, and it captures that well.
Yeah, and if you've ever been a part-timer, like retail, restauranting, whatever, there's so much there's just so much relatability in this show.
All right.
Next one, it's this is bad. It's soft balls times 8 hard-hitting stories.
What?
I was trying to go with the disconnect between soft and hard, but it's not really working.
All I can think of now is like ball sacks. I don't know, soft balls. Uh,
8 specifically hard-hitting
Specifically
stories.
8. Yeah.
Is there only 8 episodes?
No.
Okay.
But like we've been talking about this entire topic, the ending of the show, or should I say the non-ending, is making people very upset and they want more of it.
Was it a recent one?
Yeah.
Did it have controversy regarding an ED?
Yes, it did.
oh,
Unfortunately, I don't remember the freaking name of it.
you're burning hot. You're burning hot.
Ah, man, if I had like 15 minutes, I'd probably think of it.
Oh.
The name.
I actually
Oh,
watched this,
man.
but I had no clue. I cheated.
It's
I looked.
it stars Align
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what it
man.
is.
because
That
they
was a-
play soft tennis.
That was
I
a
know
pretty
you
good
said
show.
softball, so I was thinking softball. Like, is there a softball anime?
I don't think so. I think the most recent, Tamayomi or Tamayori, whatever it was called. I think that was baseball still. No,
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I didn't watch it.
I don't know. Sports animes are not my expertise at all. I might have seen.
Chihaya then.
All right.
I've only seen like 5 episodes of Chihaya.
I got one more. Death Parade minus Death.
Parade is not the name of a Parade is the name of a song in Paprika, but I
Well.
don't think that has anything to do with what you're talking about.
Nope.
My first instinct was kaiji, but the way it's written, the blocked out answer is written, it's probably not kaiji. I don't know, because I was thinking like, games and stuff, but nobody. Okay, actually, no. Some people die in kaiji. Never mind.
I'm trying to think of like pool halls or like that kind of stuff.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, I put bartender down because there's like a bartender in Death Parade.
Okay.
You know.
If Death Parade was just the first 5 minutes where she walks up, gets a drink made, and then they talk about their life, yeah, I could see it.
I need to find the shame drop. Make it look for it.
No, I got this one. I got it. You're good.
All right. Move on quickly.
Okay, I have Neon Genesis Evangelion minus mecha plus magic.
So it's like whiny characters that all have like severe need a lot of therapy and have magic.
I mean, I was gonna say Attack on Titan because like people kind of pilot the big meat suits because they're not mechs, but I don't know if there's much magic in the show.
Attack on Titan is so fucking good.
The
By the
magic
way.
of friendship. No, I'm kidding.
Magic of short Levi being upset that he's small and just taking it out on everybody.
No, he doesn't need to be upset about his height. He makes up for it in his wit and amazingness.
Just
boy.
fucking wrecking people. Yeah. Let's see.
Is it more like
Oh man.
NGE being like traumatizing? Like what part of NGE?
Yeah. I'm out.
It is traumatizing. There's a lot of young people having to do things that they like might not actually really want to do. Trickery,
I'm
fighting.
leaning towards Madoka, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Final answer.
Yeah. I
Final
don't know.
answer is I give up.
The answer is Madoka Magica.
Oh no.
And you didn't give a final answer. You didn't even
I
try.
didn't. No,
You
I
said it.
didn't. I don't get credit for
Oh,
it.
someone in the chat got it. 2 people did.
Yeah, a couple people did.
Wow. Okay. Good for you guys. You guys are smarter than I am. That's for sure. So. Okay. Last one, Mason. Make it count.
My tongue-in-cheek
What the
answer, which
fuck is
anyone
this?
would have gotten if when they thought of math anime. It's vampires plus flesh times the vowel raised to the exponent of a half.
What does that mean, Mason?
It's raised to the half power. So you know how when you take 2 and you raise it to an exponent of 2, it
It's
becomes 4.
It
To
goes
an
down.
exponent of a half. So it's like the square root of something.
Yeah, it's probably like, I don't even know what that would be.
I got it.
0.8 or something.
I was trying not to use that word, but it seemed like you guys needed the hint.
Something parallel rhapsody or something. I don't know.
No.
No.
How the fuck did you get it from that? Jesus.
Okay.
All right.
Should I give my answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tokyo Ghoul Route A.
There
How
you
the
go.
Fuck.
The
I'm
moment you said square root,
Jesus
and I'm like,
Christ. I am so fucking terrible. You know what?
Jesus Christ.
I am so terrible at these fucking games. I am the worst. I'm never gonna win any of these games ever.
oh, Mitsugi. You
it's
make up
okay,
for it in a lot of ways.
I like playing the games. I'm just not good at them. Oh lords. Yeah. Anyway. Where do we go from here, guys? We don't have a lot of time left. But we don't really have any time left, so. But
Oh,
see,
I'm sorry.
No, see, that's
no,
what
this was fun. It would made up for our terrible ideas.
Caroline, this is what always happens. We do these bring your own topic segments, and what happens is everybody comes up with a topic that is good enough to be a whole episode, and so I'm just going to copy paste them at the bottom of the document like always, and we'll use them later. We'll use them next time.
Or listeners, don't forget, you can always give us ideas in our mailbag thing, so we don't have to do any work ourselves. But
that's really the dream, is to just have
really
everybody
is.
else do all the work for us. Yeah, definitely.
Alas, we had to do math today, and I apologize for that.
You
But
should.
Listen, I am not good at math, but I thought this would be fun, and it was.
It was fun.
was.
Yeah, good idea.
pass the
Yeah.
curve. And with that, we will head into our in-show news break. But first, we have a weekly trivia question for you, which we'll give you the answer at in just a couple minutes. When you get a new manga, what is the name for the strip of paper that sometimes wraps around the slipcase? This is a little bit tough one. If you're watching the video, you can see I drew a nice little arrow to the thing I'm talking about. But think about it, and we'll let you know. It's a pretty funny name when we get back.
Oh yes! My queen!
Hey, Anime Addicts, this is Mitsugi, and I am here doing your anime news. Starting off with a couple of new anime announcements, including one that is borderline a hentai, Yubi Sakikara no Honki no Netsujo. Second season announced for summer 2021. The subtitle, you know it, you love it, Fire in His Fingertips 2. My lover is a firefighter. We covered this on our hentai episodes, and it's sort of a comedy / hentai. Following the first season, Ryo and Soma, who revealed their feelings for each other, have finally started dating. When they thought their hearts and bodies were more deeply connected during their lovey-dovey days, her ex-boyfriend came into the picture. Dramatic romance antics ensue. So if you're a fan of this firefighter anime, there's another one coming out in the summer of 2021, so look forward to that. And next up, another isekai has been announced. The light novel Miku Shinka no Mi Shiranai Uchi ni Kachigumi Jinsei, the evolution fruit conquering life unknowingly. The synopsis: a boy who is bullied, Seiichi Hiragi, is pretty much an outcast from his school. He has a miserable school life, and one day a god comes over the PA system and announces that the whole school is going to be transported to an isekai world, including the game elements of levels and stats that like you'd probably expect. The classes all form groups to wait for the transfer, but Seiichi gets excluded and is summoned to a different place than everybody else, where he discovers a fruit called the Fruit of Evolution that will change his life. So if you're a fan of isekai anime, here is another one coming at you. It's going to be coming up probably pretty soon here. Next up, some sad news. Otakon, a convention that I've been to probably 7 or 8 times, has announced that it might be permanently closing if it's unable to get enough funding from the public to continue operating. There was a newsletter by President Brooke Zerlout who said that due to COVID-19, the organization is in a precarious position and that it really was a non-profit organization run completely by volunteer work. So they need proceeds to help continue the event, I guess, or they will have to close it permanently, it sounds like. So some sad news there. And some also interesting news. Sonic the Hedgehog voice actor Roger Craig Smith who has also done anime work as well, wrote on Twitter that he is not going to be working on Sonic the Hedgehog's voice any longer. He will no longer be Sonic after 10 years of doing the role, from everything from Lego Dimensions to Sonic and Mario at the Olympics to Sonic Forces, Sonic Spinball, Super Smash Brothers, etc. So it looks like that's coming to an end, and we'll have to see who is replaced as the voice of Sonic going forward. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. And now, as always, time to get back to the podcast.
Hey there, listeners! We just want to take a second and thank you for all of your support. We have received requests for additional ways that you can help support us, and we really appreciate every bit of it. We wanted to come up with ways that we can also help give back, and so we decided that for the first 3 months of 2021, half of all of our additional support that we receive will be donated to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And many of you may already know this, or if you're new to the podcast, I was born with cystic fibrosis. And the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a donor-funded, nonprofit organization that helps fund research for drugs that will help people like me live a longer life. So if you want more information on that, you can check out the cff.org website. And again, we appreciate all of your support. You're awesome, and thank you so much for listening.
Welcome back to the pod. In-show trivia: when you get a new manga, what is the name for the strip of paper that is sometimes wrapped around the slipcase? The answer is an obi, or a belly band. And bonus points for the sometimes used obigami, or obi paper, or belt paper, which is, an obi is also the word for the sash on a kimono, so it's not that imaginative, but good for you if you got it, of course. So, and settling back in, I just had a bowl of cereal, feeling pretty happy about it.
That was a very quick bowl of cereal.
What cereal are you munching on?
Well, we're doing a lot of macro counting, always, and right now my carb number is pretty high, and fastest way to get carbohydrates is frosted mini wheats. They're like
You're not eating the king of all cereal?
I don't know what that is.
That's grape nuts, my friend.
Grape
In
nuts?
the meantime, while you are working out your carbs, still eating the Bunch of Crunch I had from last
What the hell?
Signature dish.
Yes.
Bunch of crunch. What the hell is a grape nuts?
You've never had grape nuts?
No, I've had
Goodness.
D's
They're
nuts.
terrible. They're amazing. I love them. I highly recommend anyone looking up, there's this whole meme post about this guy writing about how great grape nuts are because they're so bad, and it fills me with joy. So eat more grape nuts, people.
Yeah. Okay. Do what Mason said. And with that, it's time for the hot new releases.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
All right.
All right. It is time for hot new releases.
Mhm.
There's quite a few announcements in the last couple weeks or so let's get through them. Up first is the Next Life as a Villainous Anime is getting a season 2.
And you're happy about that. I know that.
Yes. So I believe, I can't remember what season it was specifically, but the first one came out last year. I know you guys reviewed it. I personally enjoyed it quite a bit, especially at the beginning. The ending was but I'm glad it's getting a season 2. So hopefully it is going to continue what I liked about it the first time.
Which was what?
I don't know. I just thought it was, a refreshing kind of harem anime. I hate normal harems. I think they're kind of gross. But if it is with um a very nice and funny character woman that I actually happen to relate to quite a bit because I am equally as dense. Um it was a fun time. The only thing is like I just did not really find the magic system to be necessary. I kind of thought it detracted a bit. So, but overall, I thought it was a pretty fun show to watch.
Well, I know it was a popular one, so I'm sure people are looking forward to that. So we'll be here to cover it, I know, when it comes out.
And up next on the list, we have Blue Period, which I actually haven't heard much about. I know somebody else put this on the list here. The anime series will debut in 2021. Oh, wait, I didn't even say when the next Life of Villainess is coming out, did I?
I don't know that. I mean, does it have a release date? Because I didn't see one, but
I don't know. I thought it was supposed to be coming like in the. Let's see. I thought they said it was coming towards the summer. Yeah. It was. Oh wait, it was initially announced. Sorry. Now I'm starting to read things when I probably should have read it the first time.
I'll look it up. You keep on going.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Back to as we were discussing Blue Period. The anime series will debut in 2021 this year. Has a cumulative of 1.8 million copies of its volumes in circulation. Has been placed in the top 20 manga in male readers division in 2019, 2020, and 2021. And got the synopsis here. Second year high school student Yutaro Yaguchi is bored with his normal life. He studies well and plays around with his friends, but in truth, he does not enjoy either of those activities. Bound by norms, he secretly envies those who do things differently. That is until he discovers the joy of drawing. When he sees a painting made by a member of the art club, Yataro becomes fascinated with the colors used in it, and later in an art exercise, he tries to convey his language without words, but instead through his painting. So that seems like a very interesting kind of show. I haven't really seen a lot of art anime in recent times, except for maybe that one called Art, but it just wasn't for me, so I didn't continue it.
I put that on the list because it had a lot of people talking about it on my anime list. But it definitely doesn't sound like much of a Mitsugi anime. But what can you do?
No, I've heard good things about it. Really quick, two things. First of all, Villainous is coming out the summer of this year, so you were right. Second of all, Caroline, can you click on that My Anime List link and go to that news article? You want to do that for me? For Blue Period.
I can't get it to load.
Why?
Oh, because Mel is down. Oh my goodness. We were just arguing earlier, and I was just saying Mel always crashes. Yeah.
I was explaining my point of view, and I've never really
don't
had
use
it.
Mel because it always crashes. Cue
Okay,
this.
we get it. You
Justice.
are a Annie List fanboy. We know.
I just want to be right. Okay,
okay. You're right. Just like the Apple versus Android debate.
Exactly.
Don't be an elitist.
There you go.
I had to, Mason.
Oh no, it's perfect.
All right, what's next?
Yeah, let's see. Of course, it's got things in the way. Hell's Paradise just came out with an announcement that just as its manga reached its final chapter in Shonen Jump on January 25th, it'll be coming out with an anime. So the synopsis is the manga centers around Gabimaru, once exalted as the strongest ninja, but who has now quit his trade, violating the laws of his village. After being captured, he claims he has nothing left to live for. However, due to his superhuman levels of training, he inadvertently survived multiple executions, from attempts at beheading to burning at the stake. The executioner, Asagiri Asaiman, tells him that he has a lingering attachment to life and issues him a mission to win his acquittal, to find the elixir of immortality. So I remember Mandy talking a lot about this manga. I think she did Manga Minute on it. And from what I hear about it, it seems to be pretty interesting.
Sounds like the newest shonen hotness.
It is definitely very popular.
Yeah. As is every shonen show, seems like, so.
But most importantly, it has an ending, which, should help to alleviate some of the shonen woes.
Factually, it did end. So, very important.
Yeah. And just so recently, we got news that a Megalobox is getting a season 2, which I was definitely not expecting. So it's titled Nomad Megalobox 2. It is going to premiere in April of this year. Yu Moriyama is returning as director and concept designer at TMS Entertainment. Actors will reprise their roles from the first season, such as Joe, Gansaku Nanbu, Yuri, and Sachio, respectively.
Why?
So that's pretty exciting.
Why?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, God! No, God, please! Okay. I just don't know why. Like, it ended. It was over. Wasn't he, like, blind? Wasn't he blind and crippled or some shit at the end of the first season?
I don't know. We'll get the answer if it was actually true.
Fuck?
But yeah, I agree with you. I do think that kind of ended the storyline pretty well. I would be more interested in a prequel to, Joe's life before the events of First Megalobox. I think that would be a lot more interesting, and especially since they kind of left the anime ending very vague for a specific reason, I think they should have left it at that.
I agree.
But yeah,
just go watch Hajime no Ippo. I mean, it's way better, honestly.
It really is.
It's like not even close, honestly.
Megalobox was fun for a time. I mean, it isn't going to make any like top 10 lists of the decade or anything, but I mean, at least the style is very refreshing.
All right.
And so if that's it for that one, let's move on to Nana, which will be given an HD video digital and home video release from Sentai Filmworks.
Cue Enzo. Enzo like burst through the wall like the Kool-Aid man. Did you say Nana?
Yeah. He's like, nah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So
people watch it.
I haven't seen it myself actually, but maybe I will now that it's actually being released.
Now that you can legally get your hands on it.
Yeah. So it is a 47-episode anime series produced by Madhouse. And so Sentai is planning an HD version for release on digital outlets with an HD home video release to follow.
Contractually obligated to tell you that the anime doesn't really have an ending, but personally obligated to tell you that it doesn't matter because it's a good series.
I feel like this is the episode where we just talk about the anime they don't have endings.
Kind of. It's been the through line.
Oh, Mitsugi is handling something there. He said
I'm
he wasn't gonna.
I'm just eye drop boy, it's like
preparing to fire my laser.
So that's basically all that we have for Hanu Anime. Or sorry, did you want to add something, Mason?
No. These are interesting, and a lot of these are coming out within the coming months, which makes their announcements actually more exciting.
I'll definitely give Megalobox a try. I mean, let's see if it actually follows up on what made the first one decent. So, and of course, I'll watch Villainous season 2, and Hell's Paradise sounds interesting as well.
Watch everything, people.
Just do it.
Even if you don't have time for it.
Exactly.
Just do it!
You want me to do the mailbag, or you got it?
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Dance.
Anime.
No.
Anime.
Mailbag. Bag. If you want to submit a mailbag, do it on... If you want to submit a mailbag, bag. Do it on the website, aapodcast.com/join. Oh, wait, that's where you can contribute to the podcast. My bad. Just aapodcast.com/mailbag is where you would do that.
I would like to point out that Mason and I had a very synchronized dance, and we did not plan that at all.
No, we didn't. It's just vibes. We're just vibing.
Yeah.
It was very well timed. The dance itself, I reserve my opinions.
Are we able to do like a high five on like the screen? I don't know where we're situated. So.
Other direction.
No,
direction.
We're
you're above each other. You got to do like the floor ceiling.
Okay,
move.
So like low five, high five.
You got to go up. I got to go down.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that was good enough.
So bad.
That was good enough. Cosplay Shay.
We'll just nip the Twitch video dancing and none of this terrible part.
Cosplay Shay writes, "Has anyone seen this anime? there was an anime that would be on Toon Disney at night and Fox Kids called Shinzo. I was obsessed with it, and I've asked a ton of people. Even showed them the artwork and some episodes. They say they've never seen it. As an avid anime watchers, he's starting to think that it was a fever dream and that he needs some validation so that he's not crazy and that other people have seen this anime. Have any of you seen Shinzo? No, you're crazy.
I haven't, but I also haven't seen much anime on TV myself, so that is nothing new.
I'm with Mitz. You're crazy. I've never seen this. And I know the feeling of like that like fever dream show that you watch and you're like, did it really exist? Like I can't find anything. Like for years, I had the same experience. I don't know if you've ever seen the Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog. It's like a weird like Power Ranger spinoff, but it's in Ireland and it's based on like Irish mythology and it's wild. I don't think it's good, but I remember that it existed. But so just for you, my friend, I went online and I did find episode 1 of Shinzo, and the dub was so bad it was almost funny, but it kind of wasn't. And I wouldn't recommend anyone watch it nowadays, but it does exist. I can vouch for that much. So there you go.
Oh, and Plotano Senpai 24 in the Twitch chat has actually seen Shinzo. It just has been quite a long time. So there you go. You're not crazy.
Oh, wow.
No,
That's
you just
amazing.
have more crazy people in your circle. So
Okay. You're not
They
alone.
say it was
then.
an interesting show, but he first saw it in Spanish. So maybe the Spanish dub is better.
So
Louis
you're
the
not
Cat
the
says Fooly Cooley was his fever dream show, and I too had that same experience. So
In other words, what is meant by that is that you're not the only crazy one. But,
exactly.
But you're the kind of crazy that we like. So
Cue cringy internet posts of we're all crazy here. Cheshire cat emoji.
all right, and moving on.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it!
Excellent. Round 2, we did round 1 last week where we passed the Promised Neverland season 2 and skate to the extra words of infinity. Once again, remind you, we each get 2 passes for a total of 6, and then we'll release a poll for all of you guys to vote on the last 3. So, just because we don't pass something doesn't mean it's out of the running. So who wants to do the first impression between you two?
I guess I'll go
Mitsugi.
first. I don't know.
Mitsugi, you go. I'm throwing you under the bus.
All right, so I'm gonna do that time I was reincarnated as a slime, season 2. I can't open Mal because it's crashed, of course. But I will say that I'm pretty sure the studio and all the staff is the same as it was before. So people that have watched the slime anime before, you'll know more or less the premise of the story. The slime guy gets killed and born into another world, and he's basically like insanely OP, and he has levels and skills and all this, and they basically make like a monster town where all the monsters can come and like live together in harmony, and hug and kiss and be all happy, and this sequel doesn't really, it follows the exact same formula as the first season. Here's how it goes. Random monster people come to the town. They're all like borderline aggressive, like they're all borderline hostile, and they all have somebody with them who's like really strong, and they they go up against either the slime guy or somebody in the slime town and get their asses kicked, and then they go, "Oh my God, you're so strong, I love you," and then they join the town or they become like friends. That's pretty much what happens. And so, with that said, at the beginning of this season, they kick off by more or less reintroducing you to the town and to Rimuru and the ogres and the goblins and the whatevers, and then like these cat people show up to the town, and they have like this cat girl with them who's like really supposedly strong, and she fights one of the female ogres, who is like one of Rimuru's bodyguards. It's the one with the big boobs that always has her boobs on top of him, and she wins. Basically, I mean, really, Rimuru steps in towards the end of the fight to kind of break it up and displays his unstoppable power, and then they all become friends, and they all get drunk together, and then they all decide that they're going to like share alcohol with each other's villages or whatever. And then episode 3, Rimuru goes to like a neighboring kingdom to have to make a peace treaty with like a king who lives in that like who was from this last season. And they like sit there, and Rimuru has drinks with him, but he can't get drunk because he has a skill that like it nullifies poison, and so like it nullifies the poison and the alcohol, and but the ogre girl gets drunk from the last episode, and then Rimuru gives a speech, and it's not very good, and the king chastises him for it, and I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, like Slime season 2, it's become apparent that this anime is not gonna do anything new compared to what the last season did. If it does, it's going to take a long time for us to get to it. Honestly, I think that there are people the people that will like this anime just because it's like, I guess it's like an Iyashike anime. I don't know, whatever. It's like very soft and makes you feel happy and whatever, but like I just find it boring, honestly. So I just know that like they're basically going to have some kind of a fight, and then they're going to refresh, and they're going to be like, and now the life in the village continues. And then like some other bad guy is going to show up, and they're going to beat them, and they're going to go, oh, you know what? We really want to join your village too. And then they're going to have like fucking snake people or some crap in the village. And then there'll be like a big bad, and everybody's going to team up, and they're all going to fight it, and that'll be the end. So,
Mitsugi over here spoiling the entire season.
I mean, that's pretty much what's going to happen. And so basically it was like, honestly, the show was a lot of this.
Sounds like,
I mean, it's just,
I know, sounds like an animal growling.
It's just not doing anything new, and I find it unbelievably boring. I don't think it's a bad show. It's just, I'm amazed that season 3 is coming out next season. Like, it's like, really? There's that much to tell of this story. Also, I find...
Is this season 12 or 24 episodes?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. It has to be.
Season 3 is coming out next season. It's 12.
Well, it could be.
I'm sure Mitsuki was about to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. It could just be like the second core or whatever that's like being listed as the next season, kind of like how they did with ReZero. But and also I find Rimuru's like character design like just annoying, and everybody in this anime just like screams a lot. So I'm not going to pass this one. I think it's fine. I fully expect this one has a really strong chance of coming back in listener picks, and that's fine if it does. I just think that there's other shows that are like probably more deserving of being covered besides this one. So I'm not going to I'm not going to be picking this one.
It's just like, there's only one slime designed for me, damn it.
I mean, there's just only so many times I can watch the exact same like 3-episode story progression unfold before I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I want them to go on like, I want the town to be attacked. I want people to die. I want there to be like some strong storyline in the show. But really, it's just like a show where everybody, it's kind of like it's another one of those shows where they beat the villain and the villain always joins the party. You know, it's just, that's all this show is. And so I don't know. It's just not my thing. Next.
Okay, so I guess I'll go next. But Mitsugi, I think I would like a dramatic, operatic background music to this, at least in the cons section, that I have pros and cons on this anime. And if you have it at the ready, I'm not saying you don't have to, like, if it's too much trouble, don't bother.
Just get it queued up.
If you have it ready, please, come in when I go to the con section of this anime. Okay, so I picked suppose a kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. And I'll be honest with you, I did not expect to be so mixed with this show. Now, I actually started out really enjoying it. Like, I had I'd separate this into a pros and cons list because I was just so darn mixed up with all of my thoughts on this show. So I'm going to start off by telling you what it's all about. Well, the title kind of already does that for you, and so do the episode titles. But this is all about a kid in a fantasy world where he grows up in this, countryside town, like far away from everybody else. But the thing is that everyone in this town is severely OP. Like, they are the last boss fight kind of area. They are nearby that area. So because of that, they are extremely well adapted to this world. And the thing is that this kid who's in this town, he's finds himself being like the weakest of the bunch. So he's always very down on himself, very modest about how he is. So he's a very sweet, very, modest kid, or at least we think he's a kid. And the thing is that he wants to go to the main capital where he can join the army, become stronger, become a hero, and very innocent wants from him, really. So he goes to this town, and he keeps on thinking that he's the worst. He's like, he's so weak, but he's gonna try anyway. But the thing is that he's severely OP because he's the weakest of the most incredible fighters this world has ever seen. So, but the thing is that he's like beating up like these massive monsters, and he's calling them insects because that's what they would call them in his hometown. And so everyone is like, oh my God, this kid is so cute. I love him. I want him to like be my child. Or at least that's what I thought. At first, overall, it was kind of cute, simple, fun fantasy. It wasn't an isekai, which is great. The main character, again, extremely innocent and naive about his own abilities. And there's like this yandere who's like very obsessed with him because he undid a curse on her. And it's a pretty funny dynamic. I was overall enjoying it. And the fights, although there are not that many in the first few episodes, are actually pretty decent looking. And they're not that bad. But here we go into the con list. So Mitsugi, if you have it ready. The chocolate banana scene. Oh my God. I clamped my hand over my mouth when this girl, who actually, no, I'll start off with her. The lolly grandma. The lolly grandma who's the chief of this kid's town. She comes by quite often to kind of check up on him. The thing is that she loves him like a little too much. So she's like, oh my God, like, I want you to do the best you can, but like, I'm also going to lust over you the entire time. So tell me how. In the third episode, she says, this is what she says. It's chocolate banana time. I have the chocolate. And then the camera pans down to the boy's crotch and she says, and you have the banana. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I think the music is drowning me out, Mitsugi, apparently in the chat. Anyway, so that was just unbelievably inappropriate, and I hated it. So I went to go check this kid's age, and he's actually not a kid. He's 17, which, I mean, is still a very weird thing that happened in the show. I don't like it. But the fact that they made him look so young, and the lolly grandma is already looking very young, it just made me so uncomfortable, and I hated it. Sorry if I went overboard on that whole chocolate banana scene, but that was a really big turning point in the show for me.
Sausages! Sausages!
Sorry. Yes, so, and then there's also the yandere girl, which I kind of liked. She's in her underwear in the OP, which is just, ugh.
The
like,
grandma?
she's in her underwear in, like, the first or second episode.
Does she have granny panties on?
No, I mean, it is kind of like a corset top and underwear, but they show her in that in like the first or second episode, and there's no reason for it, of course, because they're just looking for fan service. But the fact that they put that in the OP, it just, that just kind of, I'm sorry, I'm a prudish person if you haven't noticed, but like overall, that I hate that kind of stuff. And the fact that everyone is sexually obsessed with this child is just really weird. I kind of liked it better when it was kind of more on the I love him so much because he's so cute kind of vibes, but no. Also, one last thing. Episode 3, by that time, I've already lost track of the politics in the show. It's already gone out the window. Too many things are happening. So I'm sorry that I took a while and I got a little too passionate about it, but I will not be passing the show, unfortunately.
You think? Mason was dying during that impression. He was laughing.
That was
so
hilarious.
I'm so sorry.
I was syncing up because I too started the show and I really like the concept, the premise, the main character, like the world, the designs, like it had a lot going for it. And it just slowly started to like lose control of what it was going for. And by episode 3, I was just like, no, thank you.
It started off great. I wasn't planning on passing it, but I was certainly like saying like, oh, like if you guys pass it, I won't mind it at all. But the thing is that now I'm kind of just like, if this gets passed, we'll see what happens.
If you keep hating,
what show is this again?
Yeah.
This was sorry, it's a long title. Suppose a kid from the last dungeon boonies moved to a starter town.
If you keep if you keep hating on it, it'll get passed. It'll get passed ironically by people. Oh boy. Okay.
I'm sorry if that got a little annoying for some people because but whatever.
No,
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Sorry if Night on Bald Mountain was too loud. It'll get fixed in post.
I just saw a chat and I thought I'd let you know.
Mason, lift
Are
us
you guys
up.
Ready?
Lift us up where we belong.
Problematic isekai fantasy shows.
Uh-oh.
This is Mushoku Tensei, or Jobless Reincarnation. I will seriously try if I go to another world. This is the story of a 34-year-old underachiever who is killed by a bus and reincarnated into the new world as an infant named Rudy. And
does he play football?
Rudy.
Does
he gets one snap in.
Yeah, does he get a sack on his one snap?
Exactly. And then he goes to go hang out with Frodo. Anyway, through 2 episodes, he goes from like being an infant to age 5. So it is a pretty quick thing. He's not like in a baby the whole show. This show has been a roller coaster, even from before I started it. I mean, I go in, I'm not a huge fan of isekais, but on the other hand, this is like one of the OG like modern isekai, modern like reincarnation stories. Like this set up kind of the trope of Truck-kun, the person who like gets transported to another world but like is aware of the concept of isekai, so it's like, oh, it's one of those kind of stories. So it's very, it feels like it's one of the recent ones, but it kind of set the standard, and I think it comes off well for that. Like if you go back and play like Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, like sure, all these things in this game kind of went on to make and design and inspire all the games we played now, but it still seems fresh when it's the first one, and it has a lot of that vibe going for it. I was a little cautious about the studio because Studio Bind has not done anything. There's no history around them, and you're like, well, I don't know what to expect. But then you look up more about it and you realize that the studio was made explicitly for this series to get made. So there was a lot of people brought in just for this project. I heard a lot of things going into it, and while I tried to kind of go in blind, I heard that the MC was a little perverted. There was some concerning screenshots, and I was a little cautious about it. But going to episode 1, it actually didn't come off too bad, because sure, he's creepy, but it was kind of in character and believable. And that's kind of the phrase you're going to hear me say a lot. So essentially, getting into the show proper, episode 1 looked frankly spectacular. Besides like a single cart driver, it was astounding how good the show looked.
Wow.
This child Rudy is learning this magical system through experimentation, and it's believable, it's engaging, it's well paced. It really tells you kind of how things work without dragging in like the skill points and this weird, like, it's not a game world, it just makes sense, and it feels interesting joining him on that journey. And yes, we get the beginning of these aforementioned unsociable and unsavory aspects to Rudy's character, and I was hoping that these things, which kind of stem from him being a scumbag in his previous life, in this new world is kind of like he's still the same person. He has all his memories and thus all those bad behaviors, and kind of in this new world maybe we'll see him grow and address these flaws, kind of rediscover himself, kind of save himself, and all these bad flaws of him will be like character markers that we see him grow out of over time. So episode 2 leans a little bit too hard into how much of a disreputable sleazeball he is. I mean, we kind of see the bullying and torment that he went through in the real world that caused this trauma. And even though he acknowledges that, my behavior is wrong, he still doesn't really change it. The show is filled, at least for the first couple episodes, with kind of very perverse male gazy, like panty shots, masturbation sequences, stuff that feels scummy. And it just, like, sexual elements in a show are fine, but the way it comes across through this character, who is kind of lovable but also like clearly flawed, is disrupting. And I feel like that's going to be the big sticking point for a lot of people, is this is not a nice character. Like, he's smart and he loves people and he's kind to his parents, but he just has these like persistent flaws that just are disruptive. And the show continues to look amazing, except for the like horse that returns and it looks this bad. But besides that, it's a solid episode. And episode 3, once again, like a very well done story, well done, like Rudy stands up for people being bullied, and then he stands up to his parents for like his actions that he took. His like talent for magic is believable because of all the hard work he puts in these like developmental formative years when he's a child. So it's not like, oh, he's the chosen one with special powers. He just actually uses the knowledge and like know-how from his previous life to get ahead in this one, and it just makes sense. But once again, at the end of the episode, the show continues to be just a little problematic with these like facepalm misunderstandings, but at the same time it knows that like the character is flawed and they're trying to address these disgusting issues. So the show feels less like an adventure or a fantasy or a wish fulfillment of power and more like a healing show of really kind of learning to like confront these bad aspects of his persona. So I'm torn because the show is very solidly put together. The visuals, the sound design, the voice acting, the pacing, the directing, the world building are all very much commendable. And there's a lot to like here, not just for an isekai, but for any genre. It's a good show. And the biggest thing is, as you can probably guess, there are heavy reservations about the MC, and I could see a lot of people being turned off by his character. And the show strikes a delicate balance between him being repulsive and redeemable, and I enjoyed my time with the show, and I want to see how it succeeds and fails. And even though there's no Phil in it, I think I'm going to pass it, but I could very well see him continue to be a dirtbag and just turn people away. So like,
risky.
It is risky, and I could imagine someone watching an episode or two of this and just being like, no, this is not what I signed up for. I'm uncomfortable watching it. This is not pleasant. This guy's just too unsightly for what I'm looking for. And I completely get that. I completely understand. But there's so much stuff that I like about the show. And if they do go head on and address these bad issues and turn it into a more healing, optimistic show, it could be something really special. So I will roll the bones. I will risk it. I will pass Jobless Reincarnation, and hopefully it rewards that.
Here comes your Top Gun drop. All right. I got to get better at
Although
lock-in
Gizmo
drops.
in the chat is asking, how can you pass this without Phil?
Yeah, you know, there's only, 3 episodes out? 4 episodes maybe came out today. We don't know for a fact that Phil isn't in this later on. So what I'm saying is that there's a chance.
If there's no Phil, I'm out. That's what Mason's got for you.
Yeah, we'll see. And I
Phil or fail.
Ooh,
Phil or fail,
shit.
We need a Phil drop.
Oh no!
Well, we can probably find a Phil drop somewhere. Someone send me a Phil drop. We'll use it just for Mason. All right. I guess I'm up again if the order of operations holds up. So I am doing Hortensia Saga, a show that I watched the trailer of, and I was like, wow, like this trailer looked really good. And so I was expecting, I don't know, I was hopeful for some good things. This was the one where we thought we saw characters that looked like Marth from Fire Emblem. Anyway, so this is Linden Films, I do believe. The anime, the plotline smacked of like Arslan Senki. It's like, royalty, like princes or whatever, are princesses are ousted from their kingdom, and must hold their shit together while they go and they reclaim their throne, type of deal. And so I'm thinking, Arslan Senki. I think it was even like done by the same thing. It's even the same studio. But so I'm watching this show, and it has a really terrible like reception online. Like people really don't like this anime at all. I think it has like a 5.5 on Mal. It's very low, very bad score. And I'm thinking, wow, what is going on here? So I'm watching this anime, and I think that like the first episode is just really bad. I mean, the storyline just kind of pops up out of nowhere. There's no real build. There's no real setup, so you don't really know what's going on. But like a lot of big things are happening. So it kicks off with basically this kingdom getting overthrown, and there's all these like undead and monsters in the capital and in the castle, and they are killing people, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And the plotline is just not really assembled in a very coherent way. I think is probably the main thing that people have that they don't like this show for. Also, I just think it's probably not really an anime. It's not really the type of anime that people are gravitating towards right now. There's a lot of people are watching shonen shows. They're watching isekai shows, and that's like what's hot right now. And what's not hot is like these knights and magic, pop political shows. Like they just don't ever seem to be that interesting to people right now. But they keep getting made anyway. And so it basically shows the kingdom get overthrown, and then it cuts to like all these members of royalty that are kind of hiding out in the countryside and more or less just like living life. They're practicing swordsmanship and participating in like local skirmishes and stuff like that. But ultimately, the plotline doesn't really go very far in the first 3 episodes. And in fact, I even watched the 4th episode because I was like thinking this show is not as bad as people online would make it sound, but I wanted to just make sure that the show was something I wanted to not continue with, because it's not like horrible, like the second episode is this like mini story where there's like a local legend about this monster that lives in this cave that can shapeshift, and so these like kids go on like this adventure to try to find the monster, but ultimately they get lost and it's not really a place they ought to be because there's goblins and stuff there. And so like the main characters of the show that are basically trained in swordsmanship and being warriors go and they rescue them, and there's like some fights and some throwbacks to like how I guess it's the prince he hates werewolves because it was a werewolf that like killed his father, and like the monster in the cave will shapeshift into whatever you hate the most, and so they kill the monster. The 3rd episode is like they get summoned to the capital to do like a mission for this order of holy knights, and they go to this village where these people have been turned into like undead zombies more or less, and so they go and they investigate that, and they pick up a new ally while they're dealing with that. And so there's just like a lot of it's not like awful, it's just like the story just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. 4 episodes in, and I'm still wondering like what the fuck the plot line is. So episode 4 I'm not going to get into. I think it kind of moved forward a little bit, but I mean I still wouldn't call it all that much of a like move towards what I'd call like a solid plot line. I don't know. I just feel like this show is very average. It's not really doing anything spectacular. I really highly doubt anybody is going to be. Probably not that many people are watching it. It's not the kind of show that's going to get voted back in listener choice. I just think it's kind of there. Nobody will ever think of it again once the season ends, probably. So highly underwhelming, very, very average overall. Probably sub-average in a season like this one where there's so much good stuff. And so not going to be continuing with Hortensia Saga. And that's all she wrote.
Well, I think I have the last one, right?
I do think so.
Okay, so I have watched the first few episodes of Heaven's Design Team, which is something that I believe Mandy's also talked about a little bit. I think she also did a manga minute on it. So it is a pretty fun and cute, educational, and pretty easy watch. It is all about how God started the earth, but he honestly just did not have the time nor the, wherewithal to create all the animals that appear on earth. So he outsourced it to a group of, I don't know if they're angels technically or not, but they're just a group of people that create each and every animal on earth. And we just follow how they create their animals. We follow how they have to compromise with certain features of animals in order to make it work. There's a lot of banter between these different creators because, of course, they get very attached to the animals they create. So if somebody else's animals happens to be on the upper part of the food chain and they hurt their animals, they're like, well, I'm going to make mine even better. Kind of way it goes about. So, I mean, it's a pretty, as I said, a very easy watch, simple, and it is educational because you do learn quite a bit about animals that you didn't otherwise know. Honestly, I laugh every single time somebody shouts, "God has spoken!" It's honestly because whenever somebody creates an animal that God likes, he just sends a message to one of the other angels, and they're like, "God has spoken!" And it's really funny. I love it. I also find that there's this one character who has an obsession with horses, and that's pretty funny. Also obsession with unicorns because he loves horses.
And
and
zebras.
It's just, yeah, sorry.
And
What?
zebras too.
I don't think we got into zebras yet, but
Shame.
We get some tall neck horses.
he just tries his very best to make unicorns a thing, but they never become a thing because they're physically impossible. And they even have like an entire part of an episode just breaking down how it would not work unless they jeopardize the beauty that is the horse. Physically, it being, the unicorns are basically horses with a horn on top. So
It's true.
if he wanted it to work, it would have to look more like a cow, and he hated that. I also like, generally there's explanations of why they would not work with certain animals. And, they also use the Galapagos Islands as a testing site for all their animals, which I thought was a pretty nice
Interesting.
choice. However, I do think the show could have benefited from being a short rather than a full episode length series. It is, they do break it up in each episode. The thing is that, it is a very laid back show, but it's not really a binge worthy show. I would definitely recommend it if you want something laid back and fun, but unfortunately there isn't really a lot to talk about for a review, so I'd have to not pass it.
Wow.
Sorry.
A lot of bodies on the floor in this episode.
Well,
God
we
has
only have
spoken.
2 each.
That's true. Yeah, we've created. We tried to be more positive by having like not doing the fail drops and stuff, but we become more negative because we're covering more and failing more because we're not passing as many. That's pretty funny. Anyway,
But
you
hopefully we're talking about a show that if we don't pass it, you're like, you know what? That show actually sounds kind of interesting. So you go check it out, and then you vote in the poll, and then we do the review.
It's it's pretty predictable probably which shows are going to get listener choice selected. There's so many good sequels and stuff that they're probably all going to be the ones that are getting picked. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
So we're halfway through impressions and halfway through past shows. We've passed The Promised Neverland Season 2, Skate, and Jobless Reincarnation. And anything else?
That's all she wrote, baby.
We did it, everybody. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the end of the episode where we just talk about all the social stuff where you can find us, podcast / Caroline. Where can people find you?
Right. So I don't really use a personal Twitter account because anything that I really like to talk about, I usually talk about on the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast Twitter. So just go to @AAA Podcast. We do GIFs, we do memes, we do updates on whatever the podcast is going on with. So you can go over there for everything you really need to know. Otherwise, you could also go to Facebook. I do post the basic information there too. And a lot of people they're pretty active on the Facebook page, even though you guys kind of snub them every once in a while. One guy even made a meme that Mitsugi actually really liked.
I did. It was Moe Girls burning in hell,
yeah.
which is perfect. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was well made, well done.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so just go there for all the fun you need to have.
And Mitz, where can the people find everything they need to know about you?
I don't know, probably the Discord these days, but I'm on Twitter @Pope Mitsugi. I don't do much on Twitter though, really, other than look at like highlights from UFC. But if you want to talk to Mitsugi, you can do it over on the Discord, which is really where you ought to be anyway. People, come on, get with it.
Really true. We got so much going on over there. Caroline, what's the Anime Club up to?
We are doing Fist of the North Star, the first 12 episodes. Very good classic anime. I actually have never seen it, so exciting.
No one's seen it because you're already dead. Manga Club will be doing Pokemon Adventures, volumes 1 through 3 on February 3rd. So if you like Pokemon, read that. Just jump out in voice chat and we'll talk about it, and it'll be a bunch of fun. Yeah, Discord, just do it. Just join it. It seems daunting. There's lots of channels. It's easy, I promise. You just go in there, you type help in all caps, and I'll come guide you to safety. And impressions round 3 next week. We'll see what passes. Yep, iTunes reviews, we appreciate them. Podcast website, AA Podcast. You know the drill. We'll leave you with that. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Just say goodbye.
Have fun looking at all those sea turtles, you guys, while you listen and while you're scuba diving. Just don't forget to breathe slowly.